Hey everyone, it's Brandy and you're watching Abstract Crafter. So today is the long-awaited, well at least for me, conclusion, wrap-up, post-review of Tell Me Stories from Diamond Art Club. I got this way back in August and I did a 3-part series of a Get Ready to Drill With Me, the one and only, on my channel so far. I bring it in for you nice and slow. It's so big that I'll do as much as I can this way, and then I'll take you down, and we'll ultimately look at it that way. I'll show you a nice side-by-side. When I unboxed this, I did not actually do a traditional unboxing of it, nor did I give it a score. I hadn't even had my system in place then. But I still want to talk about it, so this won't end up like most of my post reviews with a score at the end, because when I went back and rewatched the video, I purposely said in there that this was a gift and you don't scrutinize a gift. But I still think that there's information you should know if you decide that this is something you want. So to start out with, this is the first one that I got that was a Mandie Manzano. And I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she is on Instagram. I am following her, and all of her art is just as gorgeous. So just an FYI, I will link her Instagram in the description box so you guys can go check her out too if you're on Instagram. I haven't checked Facebook to see if she's there, but I will. If she is, I will include that information as well. So I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons specifically related to this painting, and then we'll get into some side-by-sides and some up-close and whatnot. So I feel it's only fair, let's start out with the pros. So as you can see, this is absolutely gorgeous in color. I'm going to try to show you as much as I can and zoom up, or scroll up, zoom up. So there's what the bottom looks like. And the colors, they are just absolutely stunning, especially the way they work together when you're getting into some of these blues. There's probably about 5 or 6 different color blues that go into this, and this is one of the very nice benefits of a hand-charted canvas, because they can, like, specifically, let's just focus on this smaller section here. There are 3 color oranges in there, and there's 2 color, well, 1 color yellow, and then in where the shadowing is, there's about 3 color reds in there, and then you get into the grays and the blacks. So the shadowing looks superb. I think they choose colors that are very close to each other to feather that out, and that's something that you'll see across the board with most Diamond Art Club paintings. I love this because it's got so many little things in it. I mean, I'm pretty well versed in Tell Me Stories now, but when I first started it, every time I'd look at it, there'd be something new that I didn't know of beforehand. This painting is very abstract, and that's probably the thing I love the most about it, because it doesn't make sense. Why is there a, let's move it back down so you can see the focal point. I feel the focal point in being this goldfish. You know, why is there a goldfish swimming, and then there's a piano coming off of him, and then there's this clock down in here, and then you get this Mario Brothers-esque plant over here, which at first I didn't really like the bright green spots, but that is part of the original picture, which you'll see in the side-by-sides. And then there's this beautiful mountain down here, and I do believe that this is her signature, the MM, I do believe. Then you get the sun hiding here, there's a fish here, there's hearts here and here, which are also supposed to be flowers. You get these beautiful circle vines, and you get these little hidden flowers that I didn't notice until I actually started putting them in. And then of course up here you get the really cute little water bubbles and whatnot, and you get just color everywhere. The one thing I do love about Mandie's work, and she does this in quite a few of her paintings, is you get circles, and then like these dots of circles, and you find those pretty much scattered throughout all of her artwork, and you see it on the, this is such a big painting, I'm so sorry. You see that again in the fish's fins over here in the Mario Brother plant. You get that all over up in here with these little white circles that I realize now that you're not seeing up in the top up here. So she likes to do that with the detailing in this little heart plant here also. So that is something that she is well known about her artwork. I have 2 other Mandie pieces. Hopefully I'll have more in the future. One you have seen, which is One Little Bite, and then another one that you won't see, but I will be putting it up soon. And I won't give anything away about that, but just watch and you'll notice those things. If you haven't seen the One Little Bite, I will post that up there too. And go refresh yourself, because her dress is made up of those. So that's a lot of the pros that I see right now. And then if you take a look at the chart, you can see the range of color. See, we'll go to this chart. That light's blinding over there, and we'll take this hanger off. And if you look at the chart, you can see the range of colors. And you can definitely see that if you watch the Get Ready to Drill with me. It's only 42 colors, but it seems like so much more. So now, when we get into the cons, they really have more to do with the supplies than the picture. I love absolutely everything about this picture. The one thing that really bums me out is the quality of the drills was horrid. Some of them fit perfect, and they were nice and tight. Some of them were so small that there is major gapping, and I don't know if I should dare bring the picture up or if I should bring you down because it's so big. But you can see that right in there, that the gapping it's horrendous, and it's pretty much throughout. And at first, when we were down here, there would be ones that were too small for the squares, and then there'd be other ones that were too big, and so they would push each other together to close up those gaps. But when you get into some of the darker areas, it wasn't possible. They didn't have the colors to balance them out. Since then, I do believe this is something that Diamond Art Club has corrected, and getting a new supplier for their diamonds. And this should not be an issue anymore. I will know that more for sure when I do the other 2 Diamond Art Club ones. Well, Mandie ones that I have. I have, I think, 4 more Diamond Art Club canvases. So I'll be able to tell you that. More specifically on the newer ones that I got in the new packaging after I was told that they have a new supplier. So they kind of missed the beat on that a little bit. I ran out of one color, and that was 820, which is not a very common color. I looked through all of my kits. One other painting had it, and that was an Ever Moment. I did end up borrowing about 80 to 100 from them to complete this. And the thing that was really kind of the biggest bummer is the colors. The DMC colors were nowhere near matching. And I noticed that with quite a few of these beads as well, that they're a few shades off, essentially categorizing them as a different number. I am working on a video in which I'm going to show you how to use that chart and how to properly categorize your leftovers for those that are interested and would like to, because there's other ways you can do it besides having that $10 book in the way that I did it before I received that book. So that was one thing that was a huge bummer, is they did not match. And so 820, when I grabbed the 820s from the Ever Moment painting, it was way brighter, and essentially the 820 that I got was more like an 823. It was a little bit darker, because 820 is a very nice, beautiful blue, and you can see that right here, and I only know that because it stands out a little bit more. It looks almost purple on camera, but then if you move over a little bit, it's really bright here, and when I take you down, you'll be able to see that, but then you move over here, and it's more like a muted navy blue. So that was kind of a bummer, but it worked for the picture, so as long as I don't need those leftovers for anything else, it should be fine. So, I think all that's really left. I'll go over the checklist on this post review. I'm not going to do the scoring because I did not do scoring to begin with because it was a gift. But like I said, I still feel it was important to talk about the pros and the cons. So this was, I do believe, on their store, this is $52 in some cents. I could I could be off by $1 or $2. I will link it down below. And I am no longer an affiliate, so there is no, I can't provide you a coupon code anymore for that, but I will still link it down below. I know that Jennifer Roberts did get this, and I will also link her video of her unboxing of this in the description as well. And I will link it up in the eye. So you can go watch hers and see if there's anything different. If you can pinpoint anything different between hers and mine. So, we'll do the side-by-side in a minute. The glue itself was really good. The beads did stick nicely. Even with the gapping, I was still able to kind of more center the beads and push them around a little bit. The symbols were very easy to read. I haven't come across one that has been hard to read or more difficult to read. There was no issues with the canvas. The only issues is with the way that the canvas itself was cut. So if you look up here, you can see that how it goes inward. But I mean, that's not a huge issue. And it's not super noticeable. It's just a little bit bowed on the edges, which ultimately, like I said, doesn't really affect anything. It is on the really nice velvety canvas. So there was no issues with the canvas itself. It was very nice. The only thing with the canvas, I would say, is up here. And it's not going to be super noticeable. But somehow some of these beads got shifted. And when I tried to push them down into place, they kept popping back. So but that's, I think, just a general canvas issue, not necessarily a Diamond Art Club canvas issue. So there's that. I do want to pause because I need to go grab beads, and then I want to, I did not save any leftovers because we'll get into that in just one second. Let me pause. You won't even notice. That way I can go grab the things that I forgot. Alright, so when we talk about the bead quality, if I was scoring this, when we get down to this, I would take almost every single point away. There's 2 points for bead quality. They'd probably end up with a half a point. They would probably end up with a half a point because the bead quality for the majority of them was horrible. If you watched my snowman notebook DIY framing video, I show you how I finish a painting in that I brush it with a toothbrush, I roll it with a rolling pin, and then I wipe it down with a baby wipe. It took me 3 baby wipes because they were so dirty. And dirty not necessarily just from being, there's like tiers when a supplier buys beads. You can buy the top quality, which every moment would be in that category where you find very little garbage. They're very clean and they look very sparkly. And then there's, I don't know how many tiers in between, but then there's a lower tier where it's pretty much the bottom, where you're going to find a lot of garbage and a lot of like you can see in there, if I can get all the dust on the bottom there, you're going to find a lot of that. So whether the beads were dirty from that or from actual dirt, I can't be sure, but I've never used 3 baby wipes, even on canvases this size. Usually 1 doesn't get as dirty as 3 did on this one, and I could probably go over it again and still pull up more dirt because of how large it is. So as you can see, there was quite a bit of garbage. I've actually had my little round tray that I normally use for garbage, and I'm going to try to cover that light for a second. But there was so much I ended up having to move into this. And a lot of it was just big holes, beads that were cut in half, little pieces of plastic, concave, convex, every issue you can imagine. It was part of this. The 2 colors that had the most garbage obviously was the 310. And what's interesting about the 310 is that I actually pulled a baggie full, try and cover that light again for you, of just rounds. Most of these came from the 310s, which was the majority color in this particular kit. So everything in this baggie came out of the 310s, including the different colors and the squares, the couple squares that were pulled out, which is an odd issue to have with a company. And and then the other major issue was with the 823s, and let's see if I can find one. There were so many. Here we go. But, you know, once you get them all in this little cup like this, they can be a little bit harder to separate out. Let's see if I can. There it is. So with the 823s, I was very afraid of running out because most of them were like this one. Let's see if I can cover that light. Where you can see it's got a little thing. I've ran across this issue before, but I've always been able to pull that, separate that off. And there it is upside down. Let's see if we can actually focus on this. Yeah, so I've been able to like separate that before, but these are literally fused together, creating one solid bead, and there it goes flying. And so, yeah, I was afraid I was going to run out because there was so many like this. I would say for every 20 beads, there'd be one like this, which doesn't seem like it should be a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, that's a lot to have garbage. So hopefully they did get their bead issues taken care of, and this won't be an issue for you guys going forward. So I think that though you can't see the gapping from far away, when you're seeing it through the camera, which makes it look further away. I'm standing right next to the camera looking down at it, and the gapping is so obvious in so many spots that I think the potential was lost. This is a really nice painting, but it could have been a great painting had the bead quality been even better, which is such a bummer because this is ultimately my absolute favorite diamond painting so far, and that's saying a lot for how many I have. So the overall experience was, I'd say, half and half. It was pretty stressful working through pulling out the amount of garbage that I had to pull out. I didn't really need to communicate with them because I didn't ask them for anything. I didn't ask for replacements or anything like that. But the black beads in particular, I did end up ordering new ones because not only did I find a bunch of the rounds, I found them where they were literally, the tops were just cut off. And I did start out putting some of them in my painting. I'm trying to see if I can find any of those to show you, but you know, that's like a needle in the haystack kind of thing, trying to find one right off the bat. But why don't I pause, we'll resituate this, I'll give you an up close of the canvas, we'll do a side-by-side of my canvas to the original picture, and then we'll wrap it up. So there we have the full image. I'm trying to back up without showing you too much of my surroundings. Let's turn this light off. I know it's going to get a little dark, but then you can at least see the picture. And you can see it does still have quite a bit of sparkle. You know, it's got the nice, you can see, oh, sorry, I just jostled you. You can see it going through there. So when you're standing back like this, obviously all those issues I talked about are not even anything that we really need to worry about. It's when you start getting up close, like we're going to do now, and the problems become quite obvious. And you can see it as I go through, like in here, they're about perfect fit. In the oranges, in the pinks, it's when you get into the darker colors that the issues become incredibly obvious. Especially over here in the browns, the 310s, the 939s, the 823s, but I think in a frame, looking at a distance, nobody's really going to notice it. And you can see just all the beautiful details that are included in a Mandie Manzano painting, and a lot of hers are like that. So why don't I insert a nice side-by-side here so you guys can see how it compares to the original painting. So that's all I really have. I just wanted to give you a few notes. I do still highly suggest giving them a try, if you like, especially if you like this painting, because like I had mentioned previously, I do believe that they have switched vendors now, and their beads should not be an issue. If you have ordered one recently and you're still having this issue, just leave a comment down below. And if you have bought one recently and noticed that the bead quality is a lot better, comment that. If I get a comment that can confirm one way or the other, I'll pin that to the top so that you guys can see. But otherwise, just give the comments a little read to see what other people are saying. Because, like I said, I haven't started working on any of my newer ones. And they're a little bit ways down the list. So it'll be a while before I get to them to actually have that answer for you. So, yeah, like I said, we're not doing any scoring or anything on this because this was a gift. And though I did list some pros and cons, I'm not going to further scrutinize it. I'm very thankful for this gift. And it's still one of the most beautiful paintings I own, even with all its issues. So you can take from that what you will. With that, I will let you go. Have an awesome day. Have fun diamond painting. Have fun crafting. Have fun doing whatever it is that makes you happy. I love you, friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.